We got married. 2 days later, we moved to Italy. We had no Wi-Fi. He calls me on our new Italian cell phones and says, pack a bag, I'm leaving. And so I had to drive it to him at the base because we only had one car at the time. And then he left. Military wife life can be lonely. We've moved almost every 2 years. I think this is our 6th or 7th move in 10 years. Sometimes uncomfortable can be like the most beautiful story. My name is Anne Marie Hamrick. We are currently on Fort Story. My husband served as the battalion commander at 11th Battalion, and now he is in JAWS, Joint Advanced Warfighting School. Probably in the 10 years we've been married, he has been gone over half. Just in the last 2 years, he's been gone a year of it. We got married. 2 days later, we moved to Italy. We were in the hotel for maybe like a week. And then once we got into our home, we had no Wi-Fi. We were in a foreign country, and he calls me on our new Italian cell phones and says, pack a bag, I'm leaving. And so I had to drive it to him at the base because we only had one car at the time. And then he left. We were in a foreign country. We didn't live on base. We lived out like in the culture, which looking back, I'm so happy we did, because really the Italians welcomed us so much. And then I still speak to every spouse that I was involved with at the 173rd. Just like the Bible says, isolation is the worst thing that you could possibly do to yourself. So in military wife life can be lonely. We've moved almost every 2 years. I think this is our 6th or 7th move in 10 years. So building a new community every time we move, it's a lot, but just finding and getting out there and putting yourself out in situations that are sometimes uncomfortable can be like the most beautiful story. That way, my husband did too. So we started the infant adoption process in 2017. We had 2 fails, which was heartbreaking, and we were told that we could not adopt from foster care because we moved so frequently. My husband was adopted as an infant. My 2 best friends were also adopted, and my grandmother was adopted. So it was something that I knew I really wanted to grow our family that way. My husband did too. Adoption is harder because being in the military, you have to jump a lot of hurdles, and because we move so much. And the main part of especially adopting from foster care is usually they want to keep them in the city in case they have any extended relatives. In our case, it was not. So we moved to Florida, redid our home study, went to an adoption and foster group meeting at our church. Within 2 months, called and said, I have 2 children. They're been in foster care for 3 years. They need to be adopted. They're in a bad situation. Are you interested? And my husband and I both went, met them, and I think less than 2 weeks later, they were in our home, and we adopted them in 86 days because my husband was deploying to Iraq. I'm sure at first it was really hard to see their dad come in and out of the home, like worried if he's going to come back because of their situation. But now they know, and he makes it a point to FaceTime them and do things special for them. And so I'm the consistent, but he's definitely the cooler parent. So they're ready for him to come home whenever he leaves. My husband and I were both athletes. I played basketball and he played baseball all the way through college. So it was important to us for them to learn discipline and what it takes to be consistent in something, to not give up, just to practice. Easton understands that he's going to have to practice so many hours to get better and to stay competitive, and we want that for all of our kids. It's something they can take with them to each location, and they automatically make friends. I've been riding since I was 4, competitively since I was 7. My family owns a farm in Memphis, and so that's really how I got started. And then I've just competed until I was in my 20s. And then once I got married and we started moving, I've found a place to ride at each location. Even though I'm not showing anymore, I still get to do it. And what I've learned from it is independence. From 4 years old, I'm handling a 600-pound to 1,000-pound animal and not scared of it. So being fearless, and also just the independence of taking care of myself. On this base, there's a lot of food insecurity issues. At the time, they only had the gas station, and the hours were not great. Soldiers were eating honey buns and energy drinks, and that was about it. Being a health and sports science background, I did not like that because I know what it takes to be at the peak performance. My husband realized the importance of trying to find food for them, and that was kind of our teamwork. And then I started looking for organizations to help because we couldn't do it alone, and that's how I met Helping the Homefront. I want the heart of Jesus to come through me. My acts of service, that's what I love to do, is to, whether it's through riding and I'm exercising horses for a person I don't know, and then art, just the way it makes people feel. It's a release for me, and I hope people see my art in the same way that I am doing it. And then just, I love volunteering because I love seeing smiles on people's faces and knowing I'm making at least one person's day better.